Good morning. It's good night right now for me. I'm about to go to bed. It's been a very long day. And I love that I'm excited and still I'm just looking forward to this time. This is part of my nightly practice now, making these videos. So I get to go to sleep with the lesson for tomorrow and then write about it in the morning. Beautiful transformations. So, lesson 44. God, Sacred Spirit, is the light in which I see. Today we are continuing the idea for yesterday, adding another dimension to it. You cannot see in darkness, and you cannot make light. You can make darkness and then think you see in it, but light reflects life and is therefore an aspect of creation. Creation and darkness cannot coexist, but light and life must go together, being but different aspects of creation. In order to see, you must recognize that light is within, not without. You do not see outside yourself, nor is the equipment for seeing outside you. An essential part of this equipment is the light that makes seeing possible. It is with you always, making vision possible in every circumstance. Today, we are going to attempt to reach that light. For this purpose, we will use a form of exercise which has been suggested before and which we will utilize increasingly. It is a particularly difficult form for this undisciplined mind and represents a major goal of mind training. It requires precisely what the untrained mind lacks. Yet this training must be accomplished if you are to see. Have at least 3 practice periods today, each lasting 3 to 5 minutes. A longer time is highly recommended, but only if you find the time slipping by with little or no sense of strain. The form of practice we will use today is the most natural and easy one in the world for the trained mind, just as it seems to be the most unnatural and difficult for the untrained mind. Your mind is no longer wholly untrained. You are quite ready to learn the form of exercise we will use today, but you may find that you will encounter strong resistance. The reason is very simple. While you practice in this way, you leave behind everything that you now believe and all the thoughts that you have made up. Properly speaking, this is the release from hell. Yet, perceived through the ego's eyes, it is loss of identity and a descent into hell. If you can stand aside from the ego by ever so little, you will have no difficulty in recognizing that its opposition and its fears are meaningless. You might find it helpful to remind yourself from time to time that to reach light is to escape from darkness. Whatever you may believe to the contrary, God is the light in which you see. You are attempting to reach him. Begin the practice period by repeating today's idea with your eyes open, and then close them slowly, repeating the idea several times more. Then try to sink into your mind, letting go every kind of interference and intrusion by quietly sinking past them. Your mind cannot be stopped in this unless you choose to stop it. It is merely taking its natural course. Try to observe your passing thoughts without involvement and slip quietly by them. While no particular approach is advocated for this form of exercise, what is needful is a sense of the importance of what you are doing. Its inestimable value to you, and an awareness that you are attempting something very holy. Salvation is your happiest accomplishment. It is also the only one that has any meaning because it is the only one that has any real use to you at all. If resistance arises in any form, pause long enough to repeat today's idea, keeping your eyes closed unless you are aware of fear. In that case, you will probably find it more reassuring to open your eyes briefly. Try, however, to return to the exercises with eyes closed as soon as possible. If you are doing the exercises correctly, you should experience some sense of relaxation and even a feeling that you are approaching, if not actually entering into the light. Try to think of light, formless and without limit, as you pass by the thoughts of this world. And do not forget that they cannot hold you to the world unless you give them the power to do so. Throughout the day, repeat the idea often, with eyes open or closed as seems better to you at the time, but do not forget. Above all, be determined not to forget today. So good today. What a beautiful lesson. Sacred spirit is the light which I see. That's what it is. Sacred spirit is the light in which I see. You know, it took me a long time to realize that making and creating are two completely different things. One requires control, manipulation, changing your outside world. The other requires allowing, acceptance, love, nurturing your inside world. When you love and care and accept yourself, your inner world, you emanate that. And that which emanates attracts. Look around your life right now. Is there struggle? Is there judgment? Is there resentment? Is there frustration? Is it fighting in a constant battle? Or is it light and love, empowerment? Is life like a sacred practice? Is it a journey for you? Is there curiosity? Are you met with love and acceptance? Are you met with integrity and respect? Whatever it is that you are experiencing in your outside world is a reflection of your inner world. You cannot control the outside. What you can do is take care of your inside. There's a part in the lesson today that said, it's asking you to leave everything you know, and in fear, in ego, feels like death. When in love and sacred spirit, it's growth. Releasing and letting go of all of the ways that don't serve you anymore. It's letting it go. It's dropping the shell. It's dropping the protection, dropping the chains and the cage, and allowing the truth, the love that you are, to expand, express, to open up and be shared with the world. And it looks different every time. I've been in this space for the last couple of weeks where at first I felt like the universe was pushing me and making me do these things. But I'm realizing now that the universe isn't making me do anything. It's offering. It's offering an opportunity for me to step into the full embodiment of the goddess that I am, of the warrior that I am, of the sacred spirit that I am. And with that offer, it requires me to turn to some really hard questions. Am I willing? And that sounds like an easy question because, of course, why wouldn't I want to step into the full embodiment of my power and be the vibrant, just pure, liberated, free being that I am? Because I haven't been that before. And what that means is that I have to let go of what I have been before. It means that I have to be willing to let go of old ways of being, of beliefs, of how I saw myself. It means that I'll need to let go of some people, some relationships, some connections, or not. Maybe it's not letting go of the people. Maybe it's not letting go of the experiences. Maybe it really is simply letting go of my old way of being. In that, letting go of the expectations. Like, even in that, in thinking that I may have to let go of relationships, of people, of different experiences, that's an old way of being. I get to be fully, and I can keep everybody. I can keep everything. When change happens, sometimes there's friction and resistance and struggle. Not because we're not wanting what's on the other side of that change. It's because we're leaving what's comfortable. We're leaving what we know. We're leaving what has worked for us for so long until it didn't. How do we know it doesn't work anymore? Because we're being called to something different, to something bigger, to something more expansive, to something more aligned with the truth of the core of our spirit. That's not to say that the old way of being was wrong. It was beautiful and perfect. It was exactly what we needed in that time. And it can also hinder us if it's not right for who we are now and where we are now. So, what do we do when we're struggling and we don't know which way we're meant to go? Because we're so used to our old way of being and we're so enticed by the new way of being. What do? We surrender. We allow sacred spirit to be the light in which we see. We allow sacred spirit in the universe to be our vision, to be our guide, to guide each foot to each next step. What brings us happiness? Do that. What makes us feel at ease? Do that. What brings calm and love? Do that. Literally as simple as that. And that has been a lesson I have been struggling with. And I am finally getting out of and accepting that, yes, I can be guided by love. I can do what feels good and allow that to guide me. I don't have to have the pain. I don't have to have the resistance. I don't have to have the struggle. Doing something that's harder does not make it better. Pain does not mean importance. Not anymore. I know I'm aligned when I'm at ease. I know I am aligned with sacred spirit when I'm in love. Anything else isn't. And so, allow sacred spirit to be the light with which you see. Choose from love. Choose for alignment. Allow yourself peace and grace. I promise you are worthy of it. And you deserve it, all of it. Aho, my loves.